Knox County and Scotland County play, regardless of what the records are. This is the big game, isn't it?
It is. It's a rivalry that's went back for a long time, and it's something that's special to both communities, and it's a fun rivalry, and it's a rivalry where both teams get after it, no matter what sport you're playing or what's on the line. These last few years, there's been a lot on the line in the basketball rivalry. There's been conference championships, district championships on the line almost every time we've played these last couple of years. And, this year's not going to be any different. So when you start adding things on top of the rivalry, it really makes it special, and it makes it even bigger than what it may have been a few years ago. So it's something that we look at, that it's going to be going into their home court and into an atmosphere that's going to be a fun atmosphere, an exciting atmosphere. And there's a lot on the line. If you want to win a conference championship, you got to win some road games like this one if you want to get one up on somebody and get ahead of the pack and separate yourself. And this year, especially with the last year, the Tri-Rivers, there's even more on the line now too. So you add all those things onto this rivalry. It's special, and it's something that the kids enjoy playing in. And I really love coaching in. When you get an opportunity to coach an atmosphere like this, then it's something special.
This is why you practice all summer. This is why you practice part of the fall, to play in a big game like this.
It is. We talk about that a lot, actually, that we've got ourselves into a position to play big games now. Those first few years, there wasn't a whole lot on the line, and now it seems like each and every game and we go into is a big game, and there's something to play for, and everybody's coming at us too and giving us the best shot. So it's fun to be in that position. It's fun to play games that are meaningful games, and it's fun to play in games that are games that could dictate championships of some sort. And that's what I like about conference championships. It gives you a chance to play for something, and championships are special. I say that all the time to the kids, because they are, and you're going to remember them throughout your life. You might not remember what your record was 10, 15 years from now, but you're going to remember championships. And this is a big stepping stone. If you want to win a championship, you got to beat Scotland County.
You both play up-tempo basketball. Are you expecting a track meet on Friday night?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be a fast-paced game, up and down. They like to shoot the basketball, and so do we from the outside. So I think it's going to be something that the team that shoots the best is going to have an upper hand in the game. And our goal is, even though they like to run and we like to run, we want to make them run at a pace that they're not comfortable with. They do like to push the tempo, but I think we can speed them up where they're uncomfortable. And if we can make the game uncomfortable for them, then all of a sudden those shots that normally fall for them, they're not in rhythm and they're out of sorts, and then those shots don't fall. Maybe they turn the ball over a little bit more and give us extra possessions. That's the goal we have, is to be able to force them into being uncomfortable and a tempo that they're not quite used to, even though they do like to run. So I think it's going to be up and down. I think teams are going to let fire from outside, and hopefully we can make a few more shots than they do.
You branded your team successfully, by the way. Havoc.
Mm-hmm.
You've done that. That's how you play. Why does Havoc work?
It works. It's a whole game based. Some people think our Havoc is just our presses, and Havoc's our whole style of play. And what I mean by that is it's our tempo, offensively and defensively. I give these kids the freedom on offense. We spread out, we attack all the time. We take shots when we're open, and that speeds up the game. And the whole game, Havoc is just kind of a whole of the whole entire game. And also, I hope that when we're running this, other teams are forced into that style of play, and we practice it every day. And I don't think anybody else does. And so when other teams start playing Havoc with us, I think that gets them out of sorts. It gets them doing things they're not used to doing or things they're not comfortable at. And I think that's basically the biggest key. Is control's kind of out of my hand when we play this style. It's all in the kids' hands, and I'm okay with that, because I think it really forces the other coach across from me. It really takes things out of his hands as well. And when we do that, that's a big advantage for us, because we're used to it. I think so. Basically, what Havoc is, it's our whole style of play, not just defense.
Don't you think people look at that Havoc as non-structured, where in fact it really is, there is a structure to it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. Actually, I was talking to another coach about that last week, where we are structured in a sense that kids go into certain positions, they're in certain spots to start our offense, and then I give them the freedom from there to go make plays. And our whole philosophy is players make plays, plays don't make players. So by saying that, there's a structure to start on the offensive end, and then from there, then they get to go out on their own. We have enough sets then too that if we really get out of control, that we can bring them back in a little bit. And defensively too, sometimes the defense looks absolutely crazy, and it looks like there's nothing but running around going on, but that's exactly what we want, and our kids know how to do that and where to get kids to run to put us in good spots to succeed. And so there's definitely a little structure to all that.
One more thing about your offense. Don't you think maybe a key on your offense, either fast break or half court when you do run a set, don't you think your spacing is really key? Because you guys are spread out.
Absolutely so. If you're not spaced out in a game of basketball, the defense has all the advantage. If you're all inside 3-point line, all of a sudden 2 and 3 people can cover your whole team. We have too many athletes and too many good shooters to put everybody inside. So we want to make sure, and we talk about probably spacing offensively more than anything in practice, is we've got to get spaced out in order to allow driving lanes and get into the lanes to get kickouts for threes or to get to the rim. And those things are very, very important for not only our offense, but I would say really anybody's. And I think we do a really, really good job of spacing out in order to get the ball to the right players.
After 6 games, what does your team need to work on to improve on?
Half-court defense. Our half-court defense, I'm still not very happy with where we are in that. There's times in games teams are going to break your press, and you got to lock down and get a defensive stop in the half-court. And right now, we're not doing that consistently enough. We do it sometimes, and it looks good sometimes, but we don't do it all the time. So that's something that we've really been hammering the last week and a half to get those stops in the half court. And it really starts with us talking and communicating. Defense gets a lot easier when you talk, and our kids don't talk a whole lot right now. So if we can get that and we can get them committed to stops in the half court, all of a sudden those 10-point games, 15-point games turn into blowouts because we're getting stops instead of giving teams layups. So that's what we have to improve on.
How important is it for your team to get, when you have these blowouts, how important is it to get your other players on the bench some quality time and game time, meaningful game time?
Oh, it's important because, I like to play 10 kids. If we're going to play our Havoc system, we've got to be able to play as many kids as we can, get some kids breaks. And when you have opportunities to get those maybe 7, 8, 9 deep into basketball games and playing a lot more minutes than they normally do, it gives them an opportunity to get better. And I thought last night we didn't do a very good job doing that in the third and fourth quarter with some of those kids, and they know it. And we made a point to bring that up. And, I think the next time they get out there to do that and play a bunch of big minutes, they're going to do a lot better because it's something that they've got to get to where they're equal or somewhere near equal to our top 5, top 6, so we can really get that depth and really be able to push 9, maybe 10 kids into varsity games for significant minutes. And I tell those kids it's very simple what they need to do. They need to play really, really good defense and not turn the ball over. And all of a sudden, if you can do that with those kids coming in and playing, now all of a sudden we're 10 deep, and that gives us an advantage.
How do you see the conference?
Right now, Schuyler County, Scotland County, Knox County are all undefeated, and I think that's right there. Those 2 teams, Scotland and Schuyler, are playing very good basketball right now. Schuyler County's really surprised me. They've held in there with some pretty good teams. They beat some good teams, and they're one that last year they gave us everything we wanted 3 out of the 4 times we played them. So they're a team that we have to look out for, and then obviously Scotland County, a team that is a very good team, and they've had success. So I think all 3 of us are right there in a good position. This week for us, we get to go play Scotland. One of us is going to separate from the other one, at least early on. And Schuyler County, we don't see them till down the road, but I think it might be a three-team race the rest of the way.
If you had a chance to coach, past or present, anybody in the world of basketball,
I would say right now, if you're going present time, Steph Curry, and the reason why is he'd make me look really good. I wouldn't have to do a whole lot with with a guy like that. You watch him in some videos and stuff, he just works, and he works hard all the time, and he does a lot of things that makes the kids, or not the kids, the players around him better, and that's something that's special, and he understands that. And makes those other guys on his team better, and you can tell by obviously all the success they had. So I wouldn't have to do a whole lot, but I'd like to sit back and get that front row seat to watch him play.
It's a long season, week after week after week, and when it goes on, how do you keep your team fresh and enthusiastic?
It's something that this year, we've taken a couple days off and watched film and lifted more than we have in the past, because I really think these last few years we've peaked in mid-February and maybe didn't play our best ball during the districts, and I think maybe some of that has to do with the fatigue and getting after it every single day in practice. So we're trying to do that a little more this year, and I think overall practice, you got to have fun. And, there's times where we absolutely get after it. I'm hard on the kids. But there's other times where we have some fun. We play some games. We shoot half-court shots. You do things like that. And when your coaching staff, I got 3 great assistant coaches, and they're on the same page with me. And when you can all come into practice, have fun, and they're all enthusiastic, we all want to be there, it makes the kids want to be there. And I think it's something that, obviously basketball is a hard sport. It's a 4-month sport. It's not easy to play. That's why when you look on benches, not everybody's got a big bench because it's not easy to play, and kids don't like to get out there and work. But the kids we have, you got to keep them there and keep them motivated. I think it just starts with our enthusiasm and the want to be there and the excitement. And when you have that, it makes coming to practice every day a little easier.